Well, for more, let's cross live now to Simon Marks, who can join us from Washington, D.C. Hi, Simon. Some have labeled this the first, quote-unquote, crisis of the Trump administration, as it seems the implications weren't fully thought through. Does he see it as that, or did he expect these complications?
Well, it's not clear that he did expect the sorts of complications that have arisen, and the real ingredients here for this crisis are not just the protests that you're seeing all over the country, because to some extent the White House is brushing them off. A senior administration source last night was telling reporters that this plan and its implementation, in his view, have been an extraordinary success. The reason why they say that is because they in the White House are largely untroubled by the protests that they're seeing. They are getting messages of support from those parts of the country that voted for Donald Trump in the presidential election last November. So they think in large measure that this is doing exactly what Donald Trump set out to do, namely to say to his core supporters across the country, I'm going to be a very different type of president. I told you what I was going to do on the campaign trail, and now I'm sitting behind the desk in the Oval Office. I'm actually doing it. But the ingredients that make this a crisis now include the fact that 39 Republican senators, and there are only 52 of them, 39 Republican senators on Capitol Hill now say they oppose this ban or they have reservations about it. That's what has the potential to turn this into a real crisis for Donald Trump. Senior leading members of his own party not backing him on this at a time when he's going to need their support if this is going to survive the whole range of challenges that it now faces.
And tell us more about how groups like the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, have been responding. And is it possible that this ban could actually be reversed via their efforts?
Well, the first way they're responding, you saw there from Tatiana. I mean, they are pouring lawyers into airports all over the country and trying to force the kind of accountability from US government agencies that previously would have been part of the normal political process here. They also, of course, are advancing legal action, not just civil liberties groups, but also 16 states, all of them Democratic Party controlled, banding together to launch a series of legal actions aimed not just at trying to reverse all of this, but really trying to ascertain whether the president has overreached. Is what he has done constitutional? Now, ultimately, these lower courts aren't going to make that final decision. It would get made by the US Supreme Court, assuming that this is the kind of issue, and it's highly likely that it will be, that the US Supreme Court chooses to take a look at. In the meantime, the good news for civil liberties groups is that the protests have resulted in huge amounts of fresh funding coming their way. This past weekend alone, the American Civil Liberties Union says that it received more than $19 million in public donations. That gives you a sense of how large their war chest will be as they prepare to push back on this.
Truly remarkable. Okay, Simon, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for that from Washington.